we're going to move on and take a look at the second game, the Saturday afternoon game or Saturday evening game, which it takes place between Spain and the Netherlands at the Estadio Central in UCM in Madrid. Kicks off at 4 o'clock local time in the afternoon, 3 o'clock in GMT. And Spain, it's kind of come good for Los Leones out of nowhere.
Yeah, this is it. Well, you were citing, was it new coach in Juju? You had Daniel Horcade coming in, who has just a Midas touch, it seems, with sprinkling goodness over many, many good teams.
Spanish Graham Henry. Spanish-speaking Graham Henry, maybe. Like, he just comes in and makes things a little better. He joined them up in November, and they just instantly looked back to their old selves. They were playing the offensive, stylish, classy football that we know this Spanish team have in them.
Racking up some lovely scores in the doing of it. And also just with playing that way, suddenly the discipline wasn't the glaring issue that it was for the first half of last season, which is why they're only on the 12 points. They're still a little adrift, but they managed to arrest some of that negative momentum and get themselves right back into the chase with Portugal, with Romania for that World Cup place. And there's looking at the way they finished last year, no reason to believe they can't go on and do it. They play some lovely attacking footy themselves, and that is their instinct. It was just, I don't know what was going on at the start of last season, but some of the crazy head the ball stuff.
We've seen it before. I mean, as much as, there's a school of thought that says, as much as the Romanian ref in that Belgium game was seemingly wasn't a wise decision to put him there, put it that way, but the manner in which Spain melted down in that game for qualification, the last World Cup out, and then started abusing the referee, and then things snowballed, and then they lost that game. They can sort of adopt this kind of tilt is what it is. We're victims, and this is unfair, and I'm going to hit this guy, and that kind of stuff. And then you're going to pin me for hitting that guy?
Yeah, well, the one they gave away in Romania, one of the more baffling red cards you'd ever see, where there was a crossfield kick, and the ball was hanging, and the winger just absolutely creased the receiver like a full 2 seconds before the ball landed. Ridiculous. He just creased him off the ball while he's looking up to try and receive, and it was just obvious red card. Like, geez, I don't know, what did you think was going to happen? I don't know. Some of the red cards you have sympathy for, like a tight head prop in the 60th minute throws a lazy shoulder in, and there's a red because he caught the head. Like, you understand those, but some of them, looking at what Spain were up to at the start of last season, you were like, what are they even playing? What's going on? But no, the flip side is just the way they finished 2021 by contrast was them, as you said, rediscovering some older form, having a bit more continuity of selection, some good young guys in the back line now as well who can run the pill, and less of a reliance of being in the kind of trenches of it. They're more akin to playing their flowy stuff, which kind of removes that victim mentality.
They're very skilled.
Exactly.
They're very skilled.
That's it. If you can make a game about that, it's much easier to play kind of nice rugby.
In Rui and Ordaz, they have, I know you talk about Marrakesh Portela and, potentially Aprasidze, Abdeladze, Absentadze as the Georgian combinations, but that is as good a halfback combination, Rui and Ordaz, as there is in this tournament when they're on their blow. They keep it quick, they keep it sharp. They do have very good vision. They're both it's like a tempo and vision based offense. They're different from Portugal in that they don't actually they find the edge a little more than Portugal. Portugal are always looking to snipe on the inside, and they're looking for those interconnected inside balls.
True.
Spain are looking to go wide, catch you on the outside. And then back their tracking run and their skill set to open things up from there, and they do find some blistering tries.
Jimeno at 12 has been pretty good link man for them. He's been pretty solid.
Jimeno, isn't it?
Jimeno, and John Bell, who I don't know his origin, but he's been a common. Those two have been a common denominator in some of their good performances where they racked up scores towards the end of last year as part of just tidying things up and being dangerous out wide. And this, given that they are hosting the Netherlands to open their campaign, is a good chance for them to get some points on the board. If going to form Portugal are away in Georgia, if that goes to Georgia, which Odds say it does. If Spain do their job here, that means they leapfrog them in that race for second and third, which is just a little bit of momentum to start a tournament. It's always a helpful thing. And the Dutch are quite an accommodating opposition in that way, in that they will try and attack and play gunsling in rugby as well. And if you can just arrive to the pitch and do your job right in front of your home crowd, there's a chance to put in some nice scores here for Spain. Yeah,
no question. They are actually they're coming off a 52-7 win over the Dutch, and racked up 49 as well over Russia, both in December. That was huge. Like, that was just that was them being back to their best.
100 points in 2 games. That's what they were about.
Exactly. Back to looking like the Japan of Rugby Europe, like they wanted to be, and have been overtaken by Portugal. But I think all the negative juju's gone. They are actually missing Bell, unfortunately, for this initial squad, but they do have Quileno in there, and they have some lovely players in the edge as well. And I just think their skill set and their speed and their offensive quality is likely going to tell on this young Dutch team that is at the moment leaking tries.
It is, from their point of view itself, it was a rough year last year. 0 table points, exposure to a level above the tier 3 level that they were realistically playing at, and they had a proper scrap with Belgium to get in for the right to get in, and Belgium had been getting hosed when they were in as well. So it is a few levels above. But in defence of Zane Gardner, who's their coach, who's a Kiwi lad, you can see in moments, like they're quite a large team because they are Dutch, similar ancestry to the South Africans. Like, as tier 3 verging on tier 2 goes, you'd expect them to be quite slight. They're not. They're pretty big, and they can win a few contacts, and they actually are trying to move the pill. So some of the tries they scored, or some of the Geordie Hop scores from last year, like, were actually pretty good. Like, they look very competent. You can see the Kiwi fingerprints on them in sequences, in 2-minute patches, but the 80-minute test that is this level, it ultimately tells.
Don't operate on the same speed of thought in terms of the
same intensity of physicality, same respect of gain line, same respect of break. All of those things on the macro will lead to it being a struggle.
Your fundamentals, you might call it.
Rugby, you might say. But they could score very pretty tries, and I'm sure they will. And like, Spain, in their gunslinging fashion, could cough up a few as well. And the score it's got to be just about incremental improvement for a team like this. Like, they struggled to cope last year. Can they reduce those losing deficits by a bit more? Can they be competitive for longer?
It's got to just be about getting better for them, getting more competitive, more comfortable with the speed of play. And then, as you rightly point out, they have the quality of the athlete is not bad. So as they get more reps in, more minutes at this standard, they are all of a sudden going to be more comfortable in the chaos. They are all of a sudden going to be more likely to make the big tackle or the big steal or the big play as the season goes on. And that starts here against Spain. It's going to be a tough challenge. They're going to come at them with a blistering speed. Spain also have actually got quite a meaty pack these days.
They do. Set
did
pieces
bulk up. They did bulk up, and that's going to be an issue for Romania. But a great challenge to start the season. And I'm glad in some sense that they're not starting at home, because I think they are, again, going to be a little bit shocked by what goes on. But this is going to give them a sort of a bedding in period. They're going to be ready for what's coming after they play Spain here in Madrid.
Yeah, one would hope. How do you see it going then between these two?
Big win
for Spain. I think that's the same for myself. I think it's one of these things. One of these teams is a tier 2 side, and the other one is kind of getting there.
I'm confident. I think maybe they'll blow it again in spectacular fashion, like they have done in the past.
2 red cards could throw it, but no.
For the time being, I think Spain are on the up, and I think they're a real challenge to Romania and Portugal, who had been ahead of them, and it looked so neat and tidy for Portugal and Romania that they were going to duke it out for Europe 2, and then the third one is going to go
repechage. But Spain are the ones with
problem for both of these teams. They have real quality. They have a lot of experience playing in French rugby as well. And if they put it all together, their forward strength and their speed out wide, they're going to be a tough team for anyone in this competition to beat. So I think a big start for Spain, big win over the Dutch, and they'll come rocking on to the next one.
Yeah, agreed. That's how I see it going too. With that, I guess we will move on. Thank you for tuning in to the Overlap Rugby podcast. If you enjoyed what you hear, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below as well. We enjoy hearing your opinions too. Thank you.